and welcome to the Flow into Healing podcast, where we talk about all things health and wellness. I'm Kim Hamilton, a certified yoga instructor, fitness instructor, nutrition coach, and I am here with Julie Kendall. And she is going to be talking to me about a special practice that she's developing called Shine and Manifest. So, my question to you is, what led you to become a Shine and Manifest coach?
Good question. And that is definitely an interesting sounding title, right?
Yes.
In today's day and age. So I believe that we all have, well, I don't believe and I know we all have shine inside of us. We have this beautiful, bright light inside of us. And so many of us are afraid to let it shine for so many reasons. A lot of it has to do with, programming from childhood, people telling us we're not good enough, or we shouldn't do that, or don't do that. That looks terrible. You look funny when you do that, or just so many variable reasons why we don't allow ourselves to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to give a quick example. As you know, we're both actors, so I have this friend, and whenever we do stuff together, I always, somehow tell her, oh, I can do that accent, or oh, I know how to do a New York accent, or I know how to do a Southern accent, or I know how to do, I did this or I did that, and she's like, how come I don't know about these things? Like, why do people not know about these things? You need to let people know that you can do these things. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. And I started a series recently called Permission Granted Every Damn Day, and I
Mm-hmm.
have it on all social media platforms. And it's really about this. It's about letting that stuff that's inside of you that allows you to shine brightly, letting it out and not being afraid to show it, not caring. Every damn day, you can give yourself permission. Nobody has to give you permission. And yes, we've heard all these naysayers throughout our whole life, and we still do. But that can't stop us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, this is our one life that we get to live in, this beautiful body.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So I want to dive a little deeper into this concept of giving yourself permission
Mm-hmm.
every day
Every
to
damn day.
every damn day. Permission every damn day to what exactly? To stand in your power, to live life to the fullest, to chase your bliss. What exactly are we giving ourselves permission to do? To sort of own our passions, like what?
Well, really, honestly, it's all of the above.
Yeah. Okay.
And not care what other people think.
That's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard, but this is our one chance to live in this beautiful body,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That we know of anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much lurking beneath the surface that could bring us so much more joy, fulfillment, excitement, passion.
I often feel like as an actor, the odds are often stacked against us just because it's such a difficult industry to break into. Um, but I feel like this philosophy that you've sort of developed can apply in multiple avenues, right? Now,
Yes.
how does this relate to health and well being?
Okay. Tremendously relates to it. You know, the whole philosophy for shine and manifest and permission granted every damn day, which kind of go hand in hand with one another, is to be able to live your greatest life. And in order to be able to live your greatest life, you have to be very conscientious about what you put into your body,
Mm-hmm.
onto your body, and into your mind.
Yeah.
It all works together. So I feel like if you they kind of all feed each other, no pun intended, because we talked about diet and wellness and stuff, but
Yeah.
they kind of all feed each other. If you're taking care of your body, what you're putting into it, what you're putting onto it, you're going to tend to think more positively, more clearly, more passionately,
Mm-hmm.
because you're so invested in being, as healthy as you can be, right?
Yeah.
So it's so easy, if someone is already doing that, to be able to work with them on strengthening their mind, to help them to be able to um, just step into things and not let something hold them back, because that's really all it is getting people more confident and comfortable with, like drowning out that chatter,
Mm-hmm.
turning it into something else, reprogramming our thoughts, taking a thought, I call it swapping a thought.
Okay.
So, like, for example, if you said to me, I can't do that because I don't have enough experience. I'm not ready to launch a coaching practice, because I don't have enough experience.
Yeah.
A way to swap that, what I work with people on, is swapping that for, you know, even though I'm where I am right now, it doesn't mean that the universe doesn't have opportunities and possibilities available for me if I want it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're swapping the inner critic, the self doubt, with a more positive thought. You're flipping it to a positive.
That, yes.
Yeah.
And I work with people to catch it, to start being in the habit of catching your thoughts.
Yes. I love
So,
that.
that's how I basically started. Was Go ahead. You had something you
No,
want
I was
to
saying I
say?
that's a lot of what I do as a yoga teacher is about the first thing I always do when I'm teaching a class is check in with your thoughts.
Mm,
Because many of us are having these thoughts that we're not even necessarily aware of.
yeah.
Like this inner critic, the thoughts that hold us back, those self-limiting beliefs, they may be subconscious, or they may just be there so often that we don't even really think about, I should replace these thoughts. So I just love that you work that way.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that's really important, just to become more aware of
Mm-hmm.
the thoughts that we tell ourselves, our inner monologue.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
what does that look like when you're coaching someone? Like, say, like, for me, for example, say, like, oh, I really want to make a feature film, but I've only made one film before, and so I just don't know if I can do it. Like, this just as an example. Like, how
Yeah.
would you?
Well, we would really dive into, first of all, if it's something you're really passionate about, if it's something you
Yeah.
really really want to do, if it's
Okay.
something that, because that's super important, just wanting something, because we all want to, we're all like like dogs, squirrel, squirrel, you know.
Oh, I want to do this.
Uh-huh.
Well, you wake up the next day. Oh, I want to do this now.
Yes, exactly.
So you kind of like try to dig a little deeper to make sure that's clearly what you want, like for sure.
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
work on kind of digging in. I walk by your side, and we work together to dig in, to create what it is that you really want, so you can say it out loud. So we kind
Okay.
of, uh, I do that by doing a lot of journaling. We do a lot of journaling, and I'll have you read through some of the things and ask how you feel about each of them,
Okay.
so that you can get kind of a guise as to, if it's something that feels really good to you, or if it's just something that you think you want to do. Because I have so many things that I think I want to do, but the things that I really want to do are the things that light you up, like light me up. So I will go through a couple of exercises with you and give you prompt questions, and have you write for 2 to 3 minutes
Okay.
about, the things that you desire, the things that you don't want to do. What are the things you want to do, what are the things you don't want to do. If you were, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? So, and then we try to look at all of that information. There's other things, other prompts as well, but we
Mm.
try to look at all of that information to see where the pattern is, and then I
Okay.
get you to say it out loud.
I see. So almost like articulating a mission statement. Like, this is what I want. Is it like a general sentence, like getting clear and specific, or is it more just like a mantra kind of thing?
What, I'm not.
So, like, say, like, we did all
Oh,
of that.
the say
Yeah,
it,
the,
okay.
the the thing that you say out loud,
Mm-hmm.
is it more is it like a general sort of like this is just how I want to operate in the world, or is it very, very specific and
I like
clear?
to get people very specific.
Okay, cool.
And the beautiful thing is, even if it's specific for right now and it later we decide it's something else, at least we're getting closer to getting more clear and focused.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to be able to do, because I forget how many thoughts we have every minute, but thousands of them. And we talk ourselves out of so many things. We
Mm-hmm.
confuse ourselves and talk ourselves out of so many things. So if we can get to some clarity, that's huge progress. So I try to get people very aware of what they're saying and what they're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and to ultimately to change those thoughts and those statements, and then to get more clear and focused on what they really want.
What they really want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, with the journaling, so you guide people through a certain amount of prompts, and do you does that sort of, when you find like a pattern, um does that sort of uncover those limiting beliefs as well, like what's
Of
holding us
course.
back?
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay,
Of
interesting.
course. Yes, most definitely. And I also do an exercise, and I encourage all of my clients to do this as well. It's one of my favorite. I do two exercises every single day. First off, I write in my journal first thing in the morning, and I write as if it is 10 o'clock at night and I am just reviewing my day.
Oh, okay.
And I love doing that because I have a lot of discovery in that as well. And I ask my clients to do that too,
Yeah.
and to kind of share some of the things of how they want their day to go, what they see happening, what they want to happen. And I really encourage people to not just, say today I was happy and I ate candy and
Yeah.
and I danced in the sunlight. um, I get people to get very specific.
Like, this
Today I
person
got,
called me.
yeah, this person called me to, like, for example, I'll just give you like a prompt, like one of my days that I write about sometimes. And it depends, because it changes all the time. But
So would you consider the
mhm,
journaling in the morning as sort of like a manifestation technique?
absolutely,
As if,
absolutely,
so you're speaking it into the universe as if it's
yes,
already happened
yes.
at
Because
the end of the
I
day.
I talk about, like, almost every day my multi-million dollars. So I write that in my journal, and then
Okay.
also as a therapist, as a Boston accent therapist on shrinking. So yeah, so I those are like my two roles, and then I always say that or greater. I see myself working with Owen Wilson. Like, I love him; he just cracks me up so much. And I
Yeah.
just watched his new movie, a series called Stick. I don't know if you
Okay.
saw it.
I haven't heard of Stick, but
Oh,
that
it's,
sounds, I love
it's
Owen
fabulous.
Wilson.
Me too.
He seems so funny.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
love. So I want to roll with him.
Okay. So
And
you'll write, sorry, so
yes,
you'll say things like, I'm so grateful that today I got to work with Owen Wilson.
not quite that.
Okay.
I'm so grateful that from my role on White Lotus, and my series regular role on White Lotus, and my series as Jennifer Coolidge's younger sister,
Okay.
and then I'll say, and on Shrinking as the therapist with the Boston accent, and that
Okay.
in of itself is so funny
Yeah.
because it's such a funny accent, and I can't wait to do that. I'm so excited, and I'm ready to receive it, and I know it's coming for me any single day. That's kind of what I write
I
in my book.
see. Okay.
So I write, not necessarily as if it is fully happened, but I visualize that it has happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's showing up. I just know it,
Interesting.
and that's something I want to just share. This is something I had an epiphany in my little ceremony that I do every day.
Okay.
I had such a moment of clarity about something to do with manifesting, but more importantly, like, people that have stuff that are doing the things that they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
that they really want to do, that they know, they believe it, they know it in their hearts that it's
It feels
destined.
right.
It's just, they know it. Like,
Yeah.
people that have money know that they're rich. They just
Mm-hmm.
know it. I've I've never broken a bone, and I've never been hospitalized overnight, and I just know that I never will be.
Hmm.
So do you know what I'm saying?
It's a knowing.
It's a
It's like you
knowing.
don't have any doubt in your mind, like, this is what I'm meant to do, kind of thing.
Yes. So
Yeah.
with this journaling and this candle ritual, I'm doing the visualization so that I know. So when I'm writing in my journal, it's like I know it's coming. I
Yeah.
know it's coming any day.
Yeah.
And I've manifested so many amazing things in my life with that concept before I even knew what I was doing,
Oh,
because I
wow.
just knew.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So, I'm curious if you want to
Yeah.
explain a little more or elaborate about the ritual with the candle. I love doing like rituals with candles. You
Yeah.
know, when I do guided meditations and things like
Oh.
that. So I and
Mm.
candles are just cozy. So what
Yeah.
exactly? I mean, do you want me to like walk me through it or?
It's different every day.
Okay.
But I sit down here in this spot, or if somebody's over or staying over, I'll go in my bedroom or
Mhm.
whatever. And I just, I like, as soon as I walk in and I know I'm ready to start my ritual, I say, "Good morning, universe." And as soon as I light the candle, I hear the universe talking to me, and I call me crazy or whatever you want. I don't care. I don't care if it's my own voice. It's something greater than myself, and it's something greater that is speaking to me.
Mhm.
That's what we'll call it.
Okay.
So it could be God, it could be the universe, it could be Buddha. I have no idea what it
Yeah.
is, but it is definitely something bigger, greater than me. And sometimes I'll even get like a funny comment, just to start off. And I don't know if it's, again, if I'm prompting it, or I have no idea, but I choose to just believe that it's real.
So you it's almost like you're downloading information. Is that how
Mm-hmm.
it feels? Like you're
Yeah.
channeling
Yeah. Kind of
like
channeling.
written words and then do
No.
you just kind of you just
Hear
have
it.
hear it.
Yeah.
Is it audible or is it more just like
Yes. It's very
oh
audible.
oh wow, okay. Is it a female voice? Is it a
It
male
is a
voice?
female
It
voice.
is?
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. I really believe that we have the power to manifest. I feel like when we can turn down the chatter, transform our thoughts to accommodate us to feeling good thoughts,
Mhm.
because I feel like we're here's the other thing that drives me crazy. We don't treat ourselves well. The
Mhm.
thoughts that we think are so self-sabotaging.
They can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be. Especially the more time you spend observing your inner dialogue, the more aware you become of how toxic your dialogue might be.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think it's important to start there, right? To just becoming more aware of what's going on in your mind, the thoughts, the things you tell yourself. Are you self sabotaging? And when you can catch that, that's step one. And then step two is how do I shift
Swap
it,
it.
swap it. So I love your concept of swapping that. And I find it really interesting because you call this shine and manifest. So when you're manifesting, is it like you said, you visualize, you get really clear and specific, and then you visualize it as already happened?
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting that right? Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. You
Okay.
visualize yourself in there, like actually, like I'm in the scene with Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
what I started doing, and this really helps me a lot, and this is what I'm working on with my clients too, is take me through a day in the life of Julie Kendall on your dream day.
Your dream day. Okay. So you visualize your dream day. What would that look like?
And I start the night before.
Okay.
I visualize, I get the notification from the producers,
Mm-hmm.
and or production assistant. Here's your call sheet, here's an updated script, and I visualize it. I read it over and I can feel how excited I am.
Yeah.
I feel the excitement, because that's a lot of, people are always saying feel it, feel it, feel it. If you do like this in-depth visualization of your dream day and you don't leave any details out, you can't not feel it.
Yeah, because it feels real.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're playing a role, if
Mm-hmm.
you're committed to
Yes.
I remember Tim Phillips used to say like visualize the pictures because your brain can't tell the difference between
Mm-mm.
what you're visualizing
Yep.
and what you're actually experiencing.
Yeah.
Your imagination is very powerful and the
Yes.
nervous system, your body responds as if you are experiencing that thing you're imagining. As an
Yes.
actor, we know this.
Yes.
So I feel like using those techniques to kind of manifest things is very effective.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious because I've heard this before. A lot of people that practice certain types of manifestation will often use like certain phrases, like for the greatest good of all concerned. I've heard that phrase a lot when talking to people about, okay, it's always good to add that. You want to make sure you say for the greatest good of all good. Like, do you incorporate that when you're sort of speaking things into existence? No. No?
I've never even heard that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I always say that or greater or that or better.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to limit myself.
Right.
Because we have no control over what like I asked for a series regular role and I got a recurring role.
Yeah.
Am I sad I got a recurring role? Hell no. But
yeah.
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we are too specific, then we block something else that could be even more magical for us, that more create more shine for us.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a good point. You don't want to limit, so you always add or greater.
Or greater.
Now, do you start with like like a thank you universe for this for X, Y, and Z or greater? Is that kind of how you phrase it, or
not necessarily?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I do, but I I really I have, and this is something I also really work with my clients on, is speaking and thinking from your heart.
Okay.
And not using this as the words for the words to come out. Let your heart talk. Get still. I have people get still and really tune into what their heart is feeling, because our heart never lies to us. Our mind does, but our heart doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can really get still and focus on words, ideas, visions, feelings, when they come from our heart, it changes everything. Mm-hmm. I actually rarely ever don't talk from my heart anymore. I rarely talk from my head. And I can tell you that it has brought so much shine to my life. I can't even explain. Mm-hmm. People pick up on it. People really pick up on it when you are talking from your heart. They know the difference. They believe you. They feel drawn to you. They feel comfortable with you. They want to be around you. They want whatever you have. Mm-hmm. Because it feels so good. It's like it soothes them.
Yeah, because it's coming from a real organic place. It's not coming from your head. It's just coming from your emotion. So this concept of talking from your heart is really interesting to me, because scientifically speaking, our hearts don't talk, right?
Mine does.
Our mouths talk, and our brains try to make sense of how we feel through words. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious. I'm curious if you can elaborate more on like what is physically going on when you're sort of opening your heart and when you're asking your heart to sort of express for you. Like what how does that feel differently than talking from your head?
That's an amazing question. It is an amazing question, and I'm crossing my fingers that I can do it justice, the answer. Okay, because I know what I'm talking about here, but I tend to, before I speak, and especially when it's to the universe, but it's even when it's to almost anyone, I tend to stop instead of just answering spontaneously, which I used to do in the past, and that was all cerebral. I tend to stop and I tend to, like, I listen more. That's the other thing. I really listen more. And when I listen, it's like it's going, in my ears, down my throat, and into my chest, into my heart. It's like it's a very fast process, but I'm taking it in and I'm feeling it. So when the words come out, it's like a response coming from down here out through, and not necessarily letting it sit in here for too long where it gets judgment and criticism and fear and Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay. So it's stopping, really taking it in. Listening is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people listen as much as they should. And that's a word I don't like to use. See, I caught myself. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think people listen as much as it benefits them and the people around them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely can sense, like when I'm teaching a class, I can sense who's really listening to what I'm saying and who's just somewhere else and waiting to, you know. So I really appreciate it's sort of a process of listening to your heart and then
Yes.
just allowing the words to be there.
Yes.
Instead of overly intellectualizing it all or judging it all before the critical mind can say, wait, that's not the right word.
Yes.
No,
yes.
it sounds more like it's a flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So.
And it comes from so much more of like a peaceful, beautiful, truthful, honest, authentic place.
Yeah.
There's so much more authenticity when it comes from your emotion instead of, your heart center than it comes from your head.
Yeah. So when you say heart center, so are you someone who sort of practices energy work with like chakras or anything like that? Or no. So when you say heart center, you just mean like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
that area of the body. But I know that is,
a heart chakra. Okay.
Yeah. That's so true. That's true.
So shine and manifest. So when you're working one-on-one with people come to you for coaching, yes, and so can you kind of explain a little more about how that looks? Like, how do people find you, and how do you sort of like? Is it an interview process or what? I mean,
Yeah, I haven't really marketed this specific aspect of the Shining Coach manifesting. So I'm not really 100% sure yet of how I'm going to market it.
I see.
So,
Okay.
but I will tell you that I am only going to take 4 or 5 clients. I don't want to have lots of people. I'm not looking for quantity. I don't want, I don't want to spread myself thin. I want to give as much as someone needs of me,
Yeah.
To them. So 4 or 5 people at a time is more than enough. And 6 weeks, I'd love to go longer, but I know that's a huge commitment for most people. So I say 6 weeks, even that's big, but I want to accomplish everything we need to. And if not, we can still circle back, but I want to accomplish as much as possible so the person feels really satisfied.
Yeah.
And has like a good foundation to walk forward if they want to go on their own. And if not, like I said, we can always come back and dig in deeper. But I do an interview process because I want to make sure that the person that is coming to me really wants to, change how they look at things in their life, how they process, what is in front of them, what's inside them, and how to make it blossom. I want to be able to do that with someone, and it has to be someone that's really committed. So many people say, "Yeah, I want to do it," and don't. I'm not criticizing by any stretch of the imagination. We all are where we are in our lives. We can't change that. We all are where we are, and sometimes we're just not ready for things. But I personally want to work with people that are ready, so that we can, take this to a whole other level for them.
Yeah, that's great. So do you incorporate uh, nutrition coaching as well, like into it, or exercise into it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, because I feel like it has to all be together. I think in order for you, I mean, think about it for your own life. You're into this whole, manifestation and wellness and health and, you know, mindfulness and the whole, so that when one part is off, it can throw the whole thing off.
Yes, the mind and body are one. So,
Yes.
for example, if I'm eating really healthy, but I have self-destructive thoughts, it's going to affect my physical health as well.
Yeah.
If I have like positive thoughts, but I'm eating like crap, I mean, I feel like you have to have both. Mm-hmm. Like the mind and body are one. The mind affects the body affects the mind. It's all related. So I definitely think if you're trying to become the best version of yourself and manifest the best life you want to have, you have to take into consideration what you eat and how you move. Movement, how you move your body is very important. But I think what you eat is probably number one. Yes. We talked a little bit about how we have like similar eating habits and things like that.
Yeah.
So
cool. I love that. It's so hard to find people that have the same, because most people, are very uncomfortable about, they're uncomfortable about like diet that is, or a lifestyle, we'll call it a lifestyle that is, different from theirs or different from most others.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable, right?
Right. Well, I think, when you're used to eating a certain way, it's easy. Like people who don't have any dietary restrictions will often ask, like, well, how do you function? What do you eat? Like it's very easy. I've been doing this for years, avoiding gluten, avoiding dairy, avoiding high fructose corn syrup and other things. Like it's actually very easy. But it's about mindful eating habits that take a while to develop. But once you've developed the habits, it's super simple. Yeah. But yeah, people will often kind of look at you sideways if they don't have any idea. Like, wait, how do you don't eat wheat? You don't eat dairy? Well, what do you eat?
I always get, well, we have to see if Julie can eat there,
Right. And that's it. So that I deal with that too, because I always tell my friends, like, if you want to socialize if you want to go to a restaurant as a way to socialize, there's always something on a menu. I can always find something that I can eat. And I don't judge anyone else for their eating. Right. I only offer nutrition counseling if they ask, right? Yeah. If someone asks, I don't just unsolicited advice. I don't do that. But for me, like anywhere you go, like any restaurant, I can find something. Even if it's fast food, I can find an iced tea. So
and I saw your iced tea.
Yeah. But I'm just kind of curious more like how the one-on-one coaching works. Like if I were to approach you and I were to say, well, I want to work on manifesting more in my life that is just really fun, right? Like I work all the time. How do I manifest like more time to have fun? Like something like that. Like what would you
Nothing like putting me on the spot.
I
know. I don't think it's that simple of an answer to just go with that specific situation because because there's so much more entailed,
right? I mean, it's a loaded question.
I mean, we'd have to really dig in and discover. Like, I'd go over your schedule with you, and and see what needs, what's urgent, what's high priority, what's not as high priority, and what can give.
Gotcha. So you'll work with people and sort of think about like, okay, how are you prioritizing your time? Yes. And how to like organize their time to pursue what they.
And I don't try to do like an organization for someone. I'm not the person that says, okay, we're going to create a calendar and you're going to start, because I know that that's daunting to most people, especially when you're in, ADD and you're like running from here to there. It's like, I mean, I've tried that and oh my gosh, I have a thing on my refrigerator and I've tried doing from 8 to 9, I'm going to do this, and from 9 to 10, and never.
It hardly ever works out as planned. So much of life is unpredictable, So especially if you're pursuing the arts, if you're a musician or an actor, like you can't predict a lot. You never know when you're going to get an audition. And so, time management is something that I've I've struggled with a lot through
Mm,
my life. And the past just like 5 to 10 years, I'm proud of how I've figured out time management when it comes to
that's
like
great.
prioritizing the things that matter most. But I think that's really key when it comes to like lifestyle changes or just kind of like manifesting something for yourself. So, what is what is wellness to you? Like, how would
Mm,
you define wellness?
mm. I think wellness is a state of being. I feel like it's a term that encompasses what I mentioned before, what goes into your body, what goes onto your body, and what goes into your mind. I think that, you know, our mindset and what we do, what we consume, what we put onto our body, because our skin's our largest organ. A lot of people don't even realize that all the lotions and shampoos and all that
Makeup,
stuff, makeup,
toxic makeup
very,
all over
very
my face.
toxic, very toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like that is, to me, what I think it's awareness of what you're doing on a daily basis to take care of yourself, to love yourself, to nurture yourself, to feel good about yourself. That's wellness.
Okay. I
That's my
like that.
definition.
So awareness of what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes, in every aspect, I
Yeah.
feel like that's truly wellness, like really knowing, you know, what we're doing to ourselves. I think, we are so separated from what's going on inside here. We're so separated from that. We just see what's on the outside and we deal with that.
Yeah.
But we don't really, think about everything that's coming at us and how much it impacts everything that's going on inside.
Yeah. Um, so I wanted to ask you before what so how did this concept of shine and manifest, like how did that sort of evolve?
Mm,
Like what journey did you go on to kind of create this sort of shine and manifest coaching thing?
yeah. Okay. I've always been a great manifester and just never really honed in on it. And I would say the most pinnacle moment for me was when my marriage ended. I was
Okay.
married for 21 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I wasn't like miserable, but I just wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't content. Um I wasn't feeling like it was the best situation for me. Like I mean, I looked around. Um, I just, and trust me, I tried because my ex husband was such a nice guy and he was so in love and he was always there for me. He was the greatest guy, but I can't explain it. We went to therapy, every kind of imago therapy, this therapy, that therapy. We went to sex therapists. We tried, experimental things, for sexually. Just I tried different things to try to get that with him, and it was like I was trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Nothing was working, and it didn't end well. And I cheated on him and he found out and he was like, get out of here. So I left because he was so upset, and understandable. I'm not blaming him at all. It wasn't his fault at all. And I had to make a decision about what to do with my life next in order to make it count, because
Mm-hmm.
I spent 21 years in O'Kaysville, in Mediocresville. I did a lot of beautiful things with him, but my heart wasn't full,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt empty actually. And I think that's why I had an affair, is because I wanted something to fill me up. I wasn't doing it to be mean.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, I was on a film set, and it was her third film, and I was in her first and her third, and we somehow discovered that we were both going through a divorce. And she said, we should move to Atlanta. This was 11 years ago. We should move to Atlanta. I have a house in Atlanta and it's super reasonable. We could, go up with like 3 or 4 people. It would be cheap, cheap, cheap. And it would be a lot of fun. And there's production is like starting to boom up there. And I was like, that's one of the places that I was thinking about going. Hmm.
Mhm.
So I literally, without like overthinking things, I just said yes. And I packed up my car as full as it could possibly be. I put whatever I could in one of those things on the roof, the car
Yeah.
packs on the roof. And I literally drove off, not knowing. I knew one person in Atlanta, not knowing anybody other than the one person and my roommates, not knowing what I was going to do. I didn't have a job. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I just took a chance. Something told me go.
Mhm.
It was that higher power. And this is so amazing. I crossed the state line, took a picture of me in front of the Welcome to Georgia sign, and I posted on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And an old boss of mine sent me a message in response to it and said, what are you doing moving to Georgia? And I said, I'm starting my life over. I'm divorced. I'm going after my dreams. She's like, oh, that's so amazing. Do you have work? And I said, no, I don't. And she said, well, let me see if we need anybody in Georgia. And I said, you're kidding.
Wow.
They created a position for me.
Oh, wow.
That's,
That's incredible.
yeah. So right out of the gates,
You immediately got a job offer.
I
Like,
mean,
we're going to create this position for you.
it was
It's like
part
the
time.
universe is providing.
And it was part time.
Yeah.
And it was in the natural products industry, which I love so much.
Yeah.
And I knew the owners, and the hours were flexible. I got to create whatever hours I wanted to create, and
Nice.
go to whatever stores I wanted to go to. Like they gave me a territory, and I just got to do whatever I wanted to do. And then I got, manufacturers would send products to me, and I would try them, and then I would train the staff about them. So I was an educator for the products.
Nice.
So exciting.
It's perfectly aligned.
But the point is that I did, firsthand. I was stuck. I was unhappy, frustrated, lonely, not feeling, great about myself and my life, and then, down in the dumps from what happened. And imagine how I felt after,
Yeah.
being caught, like realizing that I did that. Like
Yeah.
really, like it's just a horrible thing to think that you did that to someone. So for me to just step away and just trust and go and then have it work out for me. I mean, I want everybody to feel that. I want everybody to be able to not, to get out of that feeling of feeling like they don't know what to do, like they're
Yeah.
stuck. And I want them to shine
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I have learned how to shine in my life. One more situation that I want to highlight that's really important. As an actor, I went 2.5 years before a year and a half ago. I was 2.5 years not booked one thing for
Oh,
two and a half
wow.
years.
Yeah.
And I've been acting for 20, at that point, it was like 16 years, about 16 years. I had been acting for 16 years. So to have 2.5 years with nothing, just thousands of auditions, not one booking. And so many times I wanted to give up. So many times I felt like a loser. So many times I felt like, what am I doing? So many times my family, I could see it in their face. What are you doing? Go, plan B, plan B. It's like
Yeah.
they didn't have to say it, but I could see it in their faces and hear it in their voices. And I was like ready to crumble. And then I started doing this ritual, and doing my journal,
Mm-hmm.
and taking courses like the Courage Quest and doing different things. And do you know the last year and a half have been the best years in my acting career
Really?
ever?
The last year and a half.
Last
Wow.
year and a half.
And it was sort of after you started doing these little rituals,
Yes.
these routines.
Yes.
That's so cool. That's,
Yes.
I mean, coincidence? Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
No, especially when you tell a story like the one day that I want a series regular, and the next day,
Yeah.
Because that was my first day saying I want a series regular, and the next
The
day,
very first time you like put that out there.
Really put it out there.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
So your goal is just to kind of like help others shine. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
We all have it there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring it out and let people see it and like have it take your breath away and their breath away, because it's just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that is real.
Yeah.
Like that is real. That is so, I mean, that's we deserve that.
Yeah.
We so all deserve to shine and light up, a path for others, but also it makes others feel so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I have mornings where, maybe I didn't sleep great the night before, or I don't know, whatever, physiologically, I just wake up and I'm just kind of like, okay, I haven't gotten an audition in 5 days. And I'm feeling, I don't know what's going on with this, like, and I have those, and I'm just kind of like, and it's sometimes hard to get here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, there are days where it's hard to get here, but I will tell you that when I do, by the time I'm done, 98% of the time, that's a high percentage. 98% of the time, I'm like, yes.
You feel good. Well, that's
yes.
Yeah. That's very motivating.
I love my life.
Well, before we close, do you have any like words of wisdom you'd like to share to anyone listening about, health, wellness, shining, manifesting, standing in your power, giving yourself permission? Any final closing thoughts?
Ooh, yes. Just remember that you it's your birthright to have the best freaking life. Like, why not have anything but the best freaking life?
I love that. That's very simple yet so powerful. Feeling worthy that it's our birthright to have our desired life.
Yeah.
And without shame, like having desires, having passions without feeling unworthy.
Yeah.
I think worthiness is something we often struggle with a lot for whatever reason. Our upbringing, things that have happened to us, or just our own self-limiting beliefs. However they're there, whatever reason they're there for. But yeah, feeling worthy, like this is our birthright. So
yeah, and it's just, as far as we know, it's a short life.
Yeah.
Why not let it be the best life? Why not have the most possible fun that you ever can?
Yes, make the most of it. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me and sharing your perspective on all of this, and really appreciate it. You can email Julie in the description. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts about manifesting or about anything else we chatted about. Let us know if you agree, disagree, join the discussion. And yeah, thanks for watching.